Can you come get me? Her voice shook so badly that for a second I couldn't even understand the words. In the background, I could hear muffled arguing, something heavy hitting a wall, and then a door slamming hard enough to make my phone speaker crackle. He locked the door, she whispered. I can't get out. My heart dropped. Before I continue this story, if you enjoy emotional, real-life inspired stories that remind us why kindness still matters, please like this video and subscribe to Kindly Tube. Your support helps us share more stories that can touch hearts and change perspectives. I had known Ariba since college. She was the kind of girl who always smiled, even when she was tired, even when her eyes looked like they had cried the night before. We weren't best friends, but we were close enough to share notes, coffee, and small secrets about dreams that felt too big for our current lives. She wanted to become a teacher. I wanted to start a small business. Life felt simple back then. After graduation, we went our separate ways. Messages became rare. Birthdays were still remembered, but long conversations disappeared. I knew she got married quickly. Everyone said it was a good match. Her family seemed happy. She posted smiling pictures for a few months. Then, suddenly, she went quiet. So when my phone rang that night, and her name flashed on the screen after almost a year of silence, I felt something was wrong even before I answered. I'm on my way, I said without thinking. Share your location. There was a pause. I can't, she whispered. He took my phone earlier. I hid it. I don't know how much battery I have. Tell me where you are, I said, trying to stay calm even though my hands were shaking. She gave me the address in broken sentences. Her voice kept cracking, like she was trying not to cry too loudly. I could hear her breathing fast, like she was running out of air. I replied, there's still room at my place, I said softly, trying to comfort her. Just hold on. I'm coming. The drive felt endless. Every red light felt personal. My mind kept imagining terrible things. I kept praying under my breath, asking God to protect her until I got there. When I reached the building, it looked quiet. Too quiet. The lights were dim, and only one apartment on the second floor had a faint yellow glow coming from under the door. I climbed the stairs slowly, my heart pounding so loudly I was sure someone could hear it. I knocked. No answer. I knocked again, louder. Still nothing. Then I heard movement. Footsteps. A muffled voice on the other side, sharp and angry. Something slammed again. My stomach twisted. Ariba? I called softly. It's me. There was silence. Then, finally, her voice, barely louder than a breath. I'm here. I called the building security and told them everything. Within minutes, they came with a spare key. When the door finally opened, what I saw stayed with me for a long time. Ariba was sitting on the floor, her back against the wall, her dupatta half slipping off her head. Her eyes were red, her face pale, and her hands were trembling like leaves in the wind. She looked smaller than I remembered, like life had slowly been shrinking her. She tried to stand up but almost fell. I rushed forward and held her. He said I talked too much, she whispered. He said I embarrass him. He said I should stay quiet and do what I'm told. My chest burned with anger and sadness. No one deserves to feel like that. No one deserves to be locked in their own home like they're a prisoner. We didn't say much on the way to my place. She stared out the window, holding her phone tightly like it was the only thing keeping her grounded. Every now and then, she took a deep breath, like she was trying to convince herself she was really free. When we reached my small apartment, I opened the door and turned on the lights. There's still room at my place, I repeated softly, the same words I had told her on the phone. For the first time that night, she smiled. It was small and shaky, but it was real. The next few days were quiet. She slept a lot. Sometimes she would wake up suddenly in the middle of the night, her heart racing, her eyes searching the room like she was afraid she was still locked somewhere. I would gently remind her where she was. Slowly, she started to relax. She told me her story piece by piece. How the first few months of marriage were fine. How little comments slowly became daily criticism. How jokes turned into insults. How arguments turned into control. How her phone was checked. How her friends were slowly pushed away. How her dreams of teaching were called useless. "I thought it was my fault," she said one evening, staring at her tea. "I thought if I just stayed quiet, he would be happy." I looked at her and said something I wish someone had told her earlier. "You don't lose your worth just because someone else can't see it." Those words made her cry. Not loud, dramatic crying, just silent tears rolling down her cheeks, like years of pain finally finding a way out. It wasn't easy after that. There were family pressures. Phone calls. Blame. People telling her to adjust and be patient. But she stayed. She chose herself. She slowly started teaching again, first online, then at a small local school. Every day, she came home a little more confident, a little more alive. She laughed more. She started talking about her students, about lesson plans, about her dreams again. One evening, months later, she stood on my balcony, looking at the sunset. "You know," she said, "that night, when you said there's still room at your place, it felt like someone opened a window in a room where I couldn't breathe." I smiled. Sometimes, all someone needs is a little space to breathe again. Today, she lives on her own. She teaches full-time. She smiles in a way that reaches her eyes now. She still calls me sometimes, not because she's scared, but because she's excited about life again. This story isn't just about a locked door. It's about how easily people can feel trapped, not just in rooms, but in situations, in relationships, in silence. And it's also about how one small act of kindness, one open door, can change a life. So if you ever hear someone say, "Can you come get me?" don't ignore it. Your kindness might be the window they need to breathe again. And if you believe stories like this matter, please like this video and subscribe to Kindly Tube. Your support helps spread messages of hope, courage, and humanity, because there's always still room for kindness in this world.